I am Olivia DadamoO, and this is my screen recording of my Photoshop tutorial. So what we're doing today is double exposure on Photoshop, and this is kind of what it's going to look like when we're all done. So first, we're going to start out with a portrait with a plain background. Okay, so if you need to with any portrait that you take and there's excess background, you need to crop that out so we're just focusing on the portrait. And then after you do that, you're going to select the person with any quick selection tool, and I'm going to use Magic Wand to just quickly select her. And most of the time, if it's blended, it's going to do that, and so you just have to press Option and then click, and it'll subtract anything that you don't want. I'm gonna just get the eyelashes in there. Okay, this looks good. So after you select what you want, you're gonna go to Refine Edge and increase the radius up to about 1.5 and then press OK. And then after you do that, you're going to copy and paste the selection onto a new layer, and how you do that is you just press Command J and then it pops up a new layer. And then you want to go back to the original background layer and go to your color options and go all the way up to white and press OK. And then make sure this is on white. And then you want to fill the original background fully with white. And so you're going to go, the easiest way to do this is to just press Option Delete. And it's not going to show up on here, but it will show up here on the layer. Okay, and then what we're going to do is go to our landscape image, which is going to be on your desktop, and you're just going to drag it right on top. And then if it's too small, you just press Shift so that it is all even, and you can increase the size of it and make sure it fits onto the background. And then you want to make sure that the landscape layer is at the top, and so you're going to just move it all the way up to the top so that it covers the whole screen. Then you're going to Command click on the thumbnail of the portrait so that you see the marching ants outlining the portrait image. And then you're going to click and create a layer mask so that the landscape just covers the portrait. Then you're going to unlink the mask with a layer and click on the landscape thumbnail. Then you're going to go up to Edit and then Transform and then Scale so that you can move the landscape image inside the portrait the way you want it. So that looks about good to me, so I'm just going to press Return to keep it that way. Okay, then you're going to select the original portrait layer and duplicate it. And so you just do Command J, and then you're going to move that to the top of the list. Then you're going to go to Image, Adjustments, and Desaturate so that it becomes black and white. And then you're going to go over here and change the blending mode to multiply so that it's kind of, you see now it's kind of mixed. Then you're going to apply a layer mask onto it, onto that layer. And then you're going to go to your brush tool and make sure that it's really big, like you see on the screen, and make sure your opacity is pretty low. I'm going to increase mine a little bit to about 15. And then you're going to paint around the portrait on everything but the facial features, because this is kind of making the portrait disappear a little bit more. And you don't want the facial features to disappear so that it stays looking like a portrait. Then you're going to click back on the layer thumbnail, and you're going to go to eyedropper tool, and you're going to select a bluish kind of gray color from the whole image, and you can find one kind of anywhere, but I'm going to go for the lightest that I can find. So this looks about good right there. And then you're going to fill the background layer with it. And so you're going to go, after you click on the background layer, you're going to go to your paint bucket tool, which is right here. And you're just going to press. And then the background is a bluish gray. And then you're going to go to levels. You can go back up here. And you're just going to increase the contrast of the image a little bit so that it makes the portrait pop a little bit more. Let's see. That looks good. And then if you want a little bit more of the person, of the portrait, instead of just the landscape, then you can click on the landscape mask and paint over it with your paintbrush tool again, with a very low opacity. So I'm going to go to about 10%. And then you just kind of click around, and it makes more of the person show up. So that if you want less of the landscape and more of the person showing up, you can do that. And yeah, that's about it. And so now you have a double exposure image. Okay, that's it. Thank you.